Hey there, Wolfpack fans. It's me again, Kenton Gibbs, bringing you another episode of Locked On Wolfpack. And folks, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Devin Leary in this not Heisman campaign thing. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to like and that kind of contradicts some of the things I've said in the past. But you know what? I own it that as a human, I'm messy, I'm complicated, I am not 100% consistent. And this is one of those moments where I see an opportunity to make something happen that I think would change the trajectory of NC State football drastically. Hear me out. Stay with me because there, like I said, there'll be some things that you don't like, but trust me, we'll talk all things Heisman campaign or non-Heisman campaign and more on today's episode of Locked On Wolfpack.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
So, folks, multiple members of the media have received some items with this Devin Leary logo that is like exclusive to him. It's him holding his shoulder pads like so, with his face between the 1 and 3, and it says D Leary delivers and Devin Leary underneath with Tuffy's face in between. And there's been some gear that was, given out in that realm and all that. And a good friend of mine, a guy over down at the News and Observer, Jonas Pope, sent out a picture of I believe it was the hat that he received, and some other members of the media received there. Hey, Devin, I'm not jealous. I'm not, I'm not saying I would like some, but I mean, y'all got my number, Annabelle texted me happy birthday recently, so y'all still got my info, if y'all want to. Nah, but seriously, I think that there's an opportunity here. And I think there's something that needs to be said. Now, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that I've often said NC State cannot properly be the hunted without first being the hunter properly. And by saying that, I mean NC State cannot be the favorite in the ACC nor the Atlantic without having ever won the Atlantic. But I'm going to tell you this. Maybe, just maybe, and I know some folks are going to look at me crazy. I know some people are going to say this is the worst thing you could possibly do for NC State sports. Lean into this thing, man. Lean into it. Don't do a half campaign. Don't do we saw what happened with the University of No Consequences and Sam Howell. And, soon as his Heisman campaign got started, Virginia Tech said, oh, really? I'm going to quote the famous poet out of Detroit named Casada. As soon as it gets started, bet I stop it because game one didn't really go great for him. That has nothing to do with you. We don't have their quarterback. They didn't have our quarterback. And their team wasn't our team. That's just the reality. That's just, again, I was called a hater. I was called everything but a good Christian when I told folks that team was not going to be good from last year. That the boys in Baby Blue, I said they weren't going to be good. I didn't see what the hype was. I didn't see what everybody thought. Oh, this team is just going to be great despite losing all these pieces. So when I'm going forward and I'm looking at this year in NC State and saying, well, with a team that's less than 30 minutes or less than an hour away or 45 minutes away that had all the things that they had happen last year, should we, be a little more passive or whatever the case may be? Listen, I am a firm believer in whatever you're going to do in life, just either do it or don't. Either fully lean into it or not. If you're going to be in a relationship, you either going to be with your old lady, be with your partner or not. It makes no sense to dip a toe to say, well, I guess I'm kind of committed. Well, I guess I'm kind of there. I guess I might want to, give this a shot. Either you're doing it or you're not. When people tell me that, they want to leave a job, I tell them all the time, listen, look at the market. What is the market going to bear out for the position that you do? Can you get more? And now, how stable is the market? Because, last one in, first one out. But long story short, either leave or stay. Don't play around and, I'm going to quote another rapper here, 21 Savage. You better pick a side or you're going to die in the middle. And I'm telling you, this Heisman campaign, Devin Leary deserves it. He deserves it. The numbers are there. The performance is there. Week in, week out. I don't think, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Y'all know that I'm very receptive to y'all telling me if I'm wrong or right or whatever in the comments or whatever the case may be. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I don't remember a single game last year where I looked up and thought, man, if we had a better quarterback, that game was ours. Man, if Devin Leary had just made a better decision here and there, that game was ours. I don't remember one. I don't remember one. 35-5 touchdown to interception ratio. Absolutely destroying defenses along the way with the run game that was at times very anemic. So, with that being said, if you're telling me, is this a guy that you should be launching a Heisman campaign for? I would say maybe. I would say on the team that you're looking at where you're saying, hey, you're bringing back most of your guys defensively. Because let's be honest, the Heisman, while it's an individual award, is really a team award, right? Like there's no denying that. There's no denying, hey, the person that wins the Heisman is not always the best player in the nation. Sometimes it's the best player on the best team in the nation, which is all right. We understand that. You know what I mean? I don't think it's fair to the Heisman winners or to the players who are up there for the Heisman. But I mean, if we look back at let's say the last 10, right? Going back from Bryce Young all the way through RG3 or Cam Newton, rather. Well, heck, we could even go back to Mark Ingram, whatever, but we'll stop at the last 10. We'll just do the last 10. Baylor put on a spectacular performance that year, beat teams that they had not beaten in 40, 50-something years in 2011. And they were the immaculate team that year. They didn't win a national championship, but I want to say they won a Big 12 championship, or they were close to doing so. Texas A&M with Johnny Football. Again, another one where it was a very, very good team, but they weren't world beaters, so he was one of the aberrations, I guess. Florida State, national champs. Marcus Mariota, win after win after win. Derrick Henry and that Alabama team. I want to say they made the national championship, even if they didn't win it. Lamar Jackson is one of the aberrations where, but again, with Lamar Jackson, that team was so bad that you knew without Lamar, that team would have been left in the darn lurch. That team would not have pissed a drop without Lamar Jackson showing up and doing what he did. And then you got the Oklahoma quarterback run with Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray. I believe that both of those teams went to the playoffs. They got the wheels whooped off them, but they went to the playoffs. National championship game. So all in all, what I am saying here, what I am getting at here is if you believe you have the team and you believe you have a guy that's going to put up the type of numbers for your team to be the favorite in the college football playoff, you don't necessarily need your team to win the college football playoff. All you need is to win your conference. Unless you are a world-beating, unless you are a different breed like a Lamar Jackson type, all you need your team to do, win your conference, and then go forward and have a guy who puts up just otherworldly numbers with that. That's what you need. If you believe Devin Leary is going to be that guy, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, lean into it, embrace it. Don't run from it. And I'll tell you this, and we'll dig more deeply into this going forward. But a lot of people are saying, well, it's just not, you just shouldn't be leaning into it. You just shouldn't be talking about what you are and are not there. Okay, well, I'll ask you this. What has not leaning into it got this team? I'll ask you that. What has not leaning into it gotten this team? Y'all tell me, because apparently y'all know better than me. So please let me know. Y'all know something that I don't. Y'all know something that I don't about, NC State with the overdoing the humility because we don't know which team is going to show up, when they're going to be good or bad. So tell me something that I don't know about, that humility greatly playing in our favor. And I'll exchange it right now by telling you something about betonline.net. BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, including league reviews and news that include this year's NHL Finals and baseball season as it continues to ramp up. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. And BetOnline.net remains the best spot for all of your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. So head to the website today to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. The biggest thing that I will say, this doesn't really make sense in terms of why like this whole soft launch thing doesn't work. You've already done it. You get what I'm saying? Like when you soft launch it, you've already done it. You already done it. You've already started to do the thing that, like, if you're saying, "Oh, we want to play we want to play it the humble route. We want to play it the very under the radar route. The very we just kind of show up and do the work thing." You can do that. That's an option that's available to you. But you've kind of abandoned that option. Realistically, if you are sending out the promotional materials, you kind of abandoned that option, and that's okay. That's okay. Let's look at it this way. You didn't do it for him last year. Why not? Why didn't you send out? If this is just like we kind of do this just as a appreciation of Devin. He was there last year. I looked on the tape. I looked at his play from 2021 that season, and I said, "Oh, already know. I'm sorry. I looked at this play from the 2020-2021 season. And I said, oh, yeah, I already know what's going to happen here. Yeah, I have no doubt. And so, with that being said, all I'm asking is what's the benefit of doing a soft launch? What's the benefit of saying it's not necessarily a Heisman campaign? Like that's my only question or gripe with this thing. What's the benefit? Just go for it. Just go for it. Lean into it. Tell the folks, hey, listen, this is what we believe he's gonna do. We know right now that he's gonna be the guy. It was with a hype video that came out on I want to say June 13th. Yeah, it was June 13th, and it had the same thing. The D Leary delivers with the DLD13 with the DLD13 hashtag. Again, I'm all for it. I'm here for it. Let's be honest. Let's not get excited. Let's not. What I tell people about life, because I used to be one of those people that believe like, I don't necessarily need to get excited about a thing until it's already happened. I don't need to get excited about a thing until it's already so close. I've already got it in my hands, because then I can get excited about it. And the hay is never in the bar. I understand that. I do. But at the end of the day, if you're always expecting disappointment, it doesn't prevent the disappointment from coming. It just robs you of the joy through the good moments. Devin Leary deserves his flowers. He does. He does. He's going to leave top 5 in almost every category in NC State passing history. And cool. Like, I don't see a problem with that. I don't think that there's anything. I don't think that that's one of those moments where you look at Devin and say, well, that's just because of the era he's played in. Because honestly, I'll put it to you like this. How many quarterbacks do you look at that you say, if we can go back, any roster in NC State history, all the best guys, right? Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, Jacoby Brissett, all of, whoever you want to say, whoever is your guy, whoever in NC State history is your guy, right? Going all the way back to when Everett Case was the coach. Sure, do that. How many of those quarterbacks would you say, I'd rather have him under the helm than Devin Leary? How many? Maybe 3, maybe. I mean, I'm giving grace for the fact that I did not see, and I'm not extremely familiar with NC State football going way, way back, like to leather helmets. I'm not familiar with that. I'm just going to be honest with you. So if there was somebody, if we did have our version of Slinging Sammy Ball, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter. Let me know. Y'all can reach out to me. You know what I mean? I promise you, I'm gonna interact with you. I'm gonna let you know, oh man, you made a great point there. You're right. Or, hey, that's a bit of a reach, buddy. But at the end of the day, I'll let you know something. And what I'm telling you is, regardless of what one will believe here, again, Devin Leary deserves his flowers, and he deserves to have this thing, be officially official. And again, I hope that this quote unquote soft launch tactic is not something that comes from, well, we've seen what happened last year with the boys and baby. I hope that doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm fairly certain it doesn't. Fairly certain it doesn't, right? Fairly certain. But I'm just, in my heart of hearts, I'm just like, that would be the world's worst reason to not actually launch this thing. So, I think as we get closer to the season, those kinds of things will ramp up. And I think that it's just because we're in June that it did get its quote unquote soft launch. For those of you who don't know, let me help you out with some millennial or social media verbiage here. Okay. So when you roll a product out, or when you roll a thing out, anything, because it's become adopted into popular lexicon for everything from like how people reveal their partners on social media to how people reveal their new car, their new house, whatever thing, right? Their new dog, whatever. So, if you're showing the face, if you're showing the front of the house, if you're showing the car, like the head on drive, whatever, that's you're hard launching. You're just leaning into that thing big time. A soft launch is like showing a hand at dinner, right? A soft launch is showing a welcome home mat with the little what's the word I'm looking for? The walkway into a home. There's a word for it. It might just be a walkway. I don't know. But that's a soft launch. That's a soft launch. That's kind of what Devin Leary and the NC State staff have cooked up here. You know what I mean? It's not a like explicit, you know what I mean? Devin Leary for Heisman. Devin Leary is going to be the guy. Get Devin Leary to, it's not that type of deal, but it's like a subtle, hey, think about the guy. When you're going in and voting, just take a second now. That Devin kid's, he's all right. That's all I'm saying. He's all right. Just give him a look. So, we'll see. We'll see how that thing works out. But yeah, that's what soft launch means. So if you've been seeing that word a lot, if your children have been using that word, your friends have been using that word and you're just out of the loop, that is what that means. So I hope that you are now familiar with the term soft launch and with what a soft launch is. But long story short, that is what is happening with Devin Leary's Heisman campaign. And again, I guess that I have now talked myself into being here for it because I understand it's a bit out from the season. So I understand. But at some point in time, before the season starts, I want to see the face first dive in hard launch of that bad baby because he deserves it. He deserves it. And again, the under the radar, oh shucks, we're just the guys from Raleigh who are going to try really hard. How many rings does that want us? How many rings does that want us? Sometimes you got to lean into being the black hat. Okay, I'll tell you what. When we were coming out of the city of Detroit at Cass Tech, and our coach told us they're going to call the touchdown back every game and all that good stuff. They said, y'all are going to be the villains in all these games because we had to. The way that the point system was set up, even though we were undefeated, even though we had one or two losses, we had to travel almost everywhere. We had to travel to everybody that we played in the state championship or in the state playoffs for the most part. The closest game we had was the first round, and the actual state championship was at Ford Field, which is right down the street from our school. And I'm telling you, the reality is when we leaned into the black hat, when we leaned into being the villain, when we leaned into we want their crowd silent. I don't want them saying nothing. That's when we were our best. When we were all, hey, man, we're going to try hard. This game, it means the same thing every game. Nah, when we walked in there, we're better than you, we're bigger than you, we're stronger than you, we're faster than you. Deal with it. That's when we were at our best. And so I hope that the reality is, after seeing this soft launch, I'm starting to kind of realize it might be a little ridiculous doing this whole thing of like, oh, well, we haven't won yet. So, we're just going to do what we can. Nah, forget all that. Be you. Let your pride, let the pride that you have in yourself and in your ability, let it out. Let the pride that we have in our quarterback in Devin Leary, let it out. This is QBU. Whether anybody wants to acknowledge it or not, There has not been a time in the last, 20 some odd years that NC State has been last in the conference in the amount of starting quarterbacks that we've produced in the NFL. This is QBU. Lean into it. We got to pay some bills, but I'll be right back. So we're about to land this thing, folks, but long story short, the Devin Leary gear is great. Go cop some. You know what I mean? I'm sure through NIL and all that, he'll be getting paid off it. So, go cop some. Go show some love to our quarterback. Like I said, Devin, if you want to send me some, man, I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I mean? I'm for it. I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it. I'm supporting. You know what I mean? And if I don't get sent some, I mean, I'm gonna buy some anyway. But you get the point. You know what I mean? I would like to have it sent to me. You know what I mean? Make a little free promo, but that's, neither here nor there. Anywho, the reality is being a team that's, just kind of, we're here, we're going to do our best, hasn't done much. So, hey, let it be known. Let it be known. Show everybody this is who we are. We believe in this guy. This is who he is. We believe that we're going to get him a Heisman this year. Because like I said, it's a team reward, whether we want to say it or not, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, except for the very rare years where there's an aberration guy who is just like, I cannot turn off the TV when he's on it. I can't look away. He's going to do something electric. And let's be honest, the Heisman is also an offensive award because, defenders, if you're a pure defender, you have to do amazing things on special teams as well to win it because, again, it's just the nature of the award. It's just the reality. So with that being said, if that's going to be the case, then, he's in the position to do so. All that has to happen is this team has to go out and make it happen. Thank you all so very much for rocking with me. I was on vacation in Maui last week. I was supposed to be dropping episodes, but man, I'll tell you what, the sun, the waves, the beach, it got me, and I did not, but I still thank y'all for rocking with me. Peace and love, y'all, and as always, go Pack.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.